The US Supreme Court has just voted to overturn Roe v Wade, a dividing issue in US politics, something that will monumentally change the lives of women in the US and their right to an abortion. So what impact will this decision have on women in the US? And why is this a dividing issue in American politics? Roe v Wade was a decision made back in 1973, which meant that women could have abortions as the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the US Constitution protected the rights of mothers to make this decision. However, due to individual states having politicians that are heavily anti-abortion, they enacted laws that made it illegal for women to have abortions after a certain point in some states. So for example, Texas, a Republican state, made abortions illegal in Texas once a fetal heartbeat could be detected. The Texas Heartbeat Bill, which meant that as early as 6 weeks into a woman's pregnancy, a woman is not allowed to have an abortion. So what impact will this have now that the Roe v Wade decision has been overturned? Well, abortion won't be banned, at least nationwide anyways. Instead, individual states will now get to decide if abortion should be fully legalized, restricted, or banned outright together. The reason this is important is that women in blue Democrat states won't need to worry, as their states are pro-abortion and so they can continue to end their pregnancy if they so wish. The impact will be on women who are in Republican states. The decision will mean that roughly about half of the states, all Republican, will ban abortion, so the only option for the women in these states now is either to go to a pro-abortion state or to leave the country entirely and have one there. So why is this a dividing issue? Well, this is basically a partisan issue between the two sides. Democrats largely feel that this is a choice. Women can control their bodies, and having a fetus stay inside the body of a mother for usually around 9 months, sometimes less, sometimes more, gives the woman a choice whether or not to terminate the child throughout the whole term. Overall, they argue that people who fall pregnant more than most, especially working class people with children, would stumble into poverty as they would have to take care of more children than they wanted, and so it's best to give them the choice as whether to go ahead with the pregnancy or not. This is why their view of things is known as pro-choice. The other position is what's known as pro-life. The vast majority of these people are Republicans. Many of these Republicans are religious, and considering that most mainstream Christian groups, especially Catholics, talk about abortion being a sin, they are strongly against this and argue that if women don't have abortions but don't want the kid, then as the child inside the mother is a living entity, then it can't be killed as they see it. They argue that once the baby is born, if the mother doesn't want to keep the baby, then the baby could be put up for adoption and placed into foster care. People in this position tend to view it that as soon as the sperm and the egg has met, this means it's a life, and so therefore cannot be stopped. Either way, this decision will impact females depending upon the location of where they reside in. Anyways, I hope you found this quick video on abortion rights informative. I tried my best to pack it with information into a short neutral guide. If there's anything you think I should have mentioned, or you want to say about this video or the decision, please say so in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching this video.